What if I told you that you can make $800,000 in 1 year with your side hustle without spending a dime in advertising, without having a website, and without showing your face on social media? Yes, it's possible. In this video, I'm going to share 3 Etsy stores who are killing it, and their revenue last year ranged from anywhere between $800K to $500,000. And I'm also going to share an Etsy store who just opened 2 weeks ago and has already made $17K in revenue. In this video, we're going to break down specifically the kind of products that they're selling, the niches they're going after, and how specifically you can replicate these results. So without further ado, let's dive in. The first store that we're looking at has already generated $17,000 in sales in the last 17 days. As you can see, they opened their store January 1st, 2024. As I'm shooting this, we're January 17th, 2024. And the most incredible thing, not only the fact that they've already have had 539 sales in the last 17 days, is the fact that they only have 19 listings on their Etsy store, which comes to prove it's about quality and not quantity. Therefore, they had some insights as to what folks are into. This is tapping into the nostalgia, scrapbook, collage, cottagecore design trend. They tapped into the following, created different variations of designs, and as you can see, well, customers are loving it. And I mean, they've been getting 5-star reviews. They literally just started 17 days ago, which comes to show, if you understand, again, what are people into, there's going to be demand all year round. And the other thing that's worth noting as well is that notice how simplistic their title is. This could be optimized, right? But notice how this is a bestseller. So again, it comes to show that SEO, yes, it's a nice to have, but the best SEO in the world is not going to guarantee you getting sales. However, understanding what your customers are into, this will help you get sales. So let's do a little bit more digging and understand how we can replicate and emulate these kind of results. If we do a quick search for anything that is collage related on Etsy, we'll kind of have to scroll down and see what is currently popular. So something that's actually really interesting to me are these photographs or photo maps, kind of like do-yourself photo maps with photos that you can include of friends and family. So I absolutely love that. And then something as well that is really interesting, besides these bestsellers in which you can include a photo of your family, are these kind of grunge collage. Simply looking, for instance, at this paper pack and some of the decoration that are in there. This can be, by the way, guys, as simple as looking at what folks have purchased to kind of get a sense of the design patterns that people are into, right? So in this case, we can see that people are into these little wells and whatnot. So I'm going to take a note of that in order to create designs. But something actually much simpler than that, if we go back to our search for different collage ideas, is something as simple as this, in which essentially you're providing your customers with the ability to upload their photos into a phone case. Include this whole aesthetic, collage aesthetic, if you will. So an easy way for you guys to essentially replicate these kind of results would be essentially to take this design sensibility that has been created in this case. So obviously here there's proof that this is doing well, that it's performing well. And essentially all you would have to do is provide your customers with the ability to customize this. Let's take a step back and talk about how you're actually going to execute this. When it comes to selling print-on-demand phone cases, my favorite supplier is Gelato because they fulfill in 32 countries. Plus, they have different types of phone cases that you can choose from, which are high quality. See how these items are fulfilling in 6 countries, 8 countries, the list goes on. So what you'll want to do, by the way, if you're interested in signing up, use my URL. I'm going to include it right here. And with this URL, you will be getting 50% off your first sale if it's made within 3 days of you signing up. So something that that can definitely help you along your journey. So now that we know that we're going to use this print-on-demand supplier to create our designs, now you're probably wondering, okay, so how am I going to create this collage? And not to worry, I got you. Now, when it comes to creating our design for our phone cases, we're gonna create a 1080 by 1920 template, which we have here. Then we're gonna do a quick search on Canva for different collage elements. Now, we might be a little limited, so there's multiple ways of going about this. Like one of it could be essentially including some of these elements so you can create kind of your own design, and then letting your customers upload their own photos, and so essentially you'll have to play around a little bit with the design. And then what you can do is enable customers to include their little photo collage. Could be something as simple as letting them include different Polaroids. And then essentially you can also let them include photos in this case, like however you decide to do it, right? But essentially we could also do this, for instance. Let's see if we can find other elements. Photo. So look through your graphics, do a quick search for different collages and create collages accordingly. Obviously, in this case, I'm kind of doing a little bit of, it's a little all over the place. I mean, really the purpose here is to kind of show you the possibilities, but based on the research that we've made and some of those gift for friends that we've seen, like in this case, where is it? Right here. And if we zoom in, this is a simple photo where folks add their photos with their loved ones during a vacation. So you could literally emulate this, right? This is a good way for folks to remember their trips. So you could have like a plane, right? You'd have the photos, and then we would add like a design element, Barcelona trip 20, and then include 2024 in this case, or 2023, whatever that is. And I mean, you get the gist of it, right? You get the idea. Obviously, like you'd have to include elements that are collage, Barcelona, and just stitch them together. So perhaps in this case, you'd want to include this. So this is one method of essentially creating your design. Another method and another great tool that I love is Kittle. Kittle has multiple templates that you can essentially tap into. And by doing, for instance, a quick search into collage, you will see that you will have access to multiple templates that you can use. And so what I like about these templates is that they're already stylistically done. This is much easier for you to edit than, as you notice in Canva, I kind of have to recreate the design from scratch. So you could literally take some of these elements right here and then add your own personalization, right? And obviously you'd have to like scale it accordingly. A lot of these designs are made for t-shirts, but you can resize them accordingly for phone cases. All right, so now that we've done that, all we would have to do is essentially upload these designs directly into Gelato. So, and by the way, guys, like the good thing about Gelato is that they include direct integration. So in this case, you would integrate your store, your Etsy store with Gelato. Then you would create a product. You would create a single product in this case. We're gonna do phone cases, see also how they provide multiple options. Let's just pick this bestseller right here. We would pick all the models, or you could just like pick a few models. You'd have to obviously upload a few listings accordingly. So what I mean by that is that you could just do a listing for Apple, and then you could do a listing for Samsung. It's really up to you. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and upload our design. So in this case, we're going to add a layer or add a file. We're going to choose the file from our folder and upload it. So here's our phone case design. I might have to re-edit this accordingly. Obviously, this is just a quick little mock-up to show you how this is done. Then you would continue to mock-ups, make sure that you select. Then once you've done that, you would work on the price. The beauty of this phone case is that it's selling for $29. So if we go back to Gelato, let's just do collage. And again, I'm doing a horrible job here with my design. You guys would do a much better job than I, but again, the purpose here is to show you the possibilities. If we have our price be, let's say $29, you can see that we're making an estimated profit of $21. So 73% of profit, which if you ask me is amazing. And the shipping costs for this are quite affordable, and you can make your customers even pay for shipping. So the moral of the story is that by having the right insights and understanding specifically what people are into, which products are going to be trending for 2024, which we know phone cases, there's a lot of opportunities there. Essentially, what you guys are going to do is look at different design trends. In this case, we know that collage is doing really well, cottagecore, scrapbook, anything that is nostalgic is performing well. Obviously, do not copy their listing. You have to find a way to differentiate yourself. This can easily be done by adding what I talked about, this family layer, by adding this element where folks can personalize their phone cases, add photos of their friends, family, the list goes on, and having that displayed in a phone case. So as you can see, it's all about quality versus quantity. The store only has 19 listings and they've already sold $17,000. So now moving on to our second store. The second store with incredible results, they've generated over $868,940 in revenue, and they started their store in April 2023. So they made this much in just about 10 months, which is incredible. They have high conversion rates, and majority, it seems, of their actual sales came from this dog name necklace. Now, I know what you're gonna tell me, well, I don't have access to any supplier who are going to be able to do this for me. But I'm going to show you how you could actually emulate this idea. But before we do that, let's kind of have another look at their store to kind of see first and foremost what else that they've sold. So this is minimalist, personalized jewelry. Personalized item in 2024 are going to perform really well. They always do really well, but there's plenty of opportunity in this niche. Something that sticks out to me as somebody who sells a lot of print-on-demand jewelry is the fact that none of this jewelry is including a message card. So this is your opportunity as someone who has access with designs, with message cards, to be able to essentially provide your customers with something similar, but include a message. So I'm going to introduce you, if you don't know already, of a jewelry print-on-demand supplier, Apparel. I've worked with them quite a bit. They ship out of the Netherlands, and they're actually working on having shipping out of the USA in the next couple months. And the beauty of it is that you can essentially create your own collection, your own jewelry, and add your own designs. So in this case, you can see that they provide you with a lot of different options, but what I'm interested in is their custom necklaces, which enables you to create your own design. So in this case, what I would do, knowing that these dog name necklaces are performing well, and as you can see, this specific store provides you with different types of ears that you can include within your design. Now, obviously, this is a little bit more time consuming. However, all these different dog ears, you can easily download them on Creative Fabrica. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own design, including dog ears, which, by the way, you can find dog ears SVG directly on Etsy and download them, so you can provide your customers with all the different dog breeds. Actually, we could do a digital download and include these. And then what you'll do, you'd have to use a software which is called Photopea. It's a free Photoshop. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and download these templates, and then you're going to recreate them on your own. And I'm going to show you right now where you can go ahead and download these files. So if you go under Apparel and you go under branding, you're gonna see all the branded package, all the different specs, and then you're gonna do download resources. It's gonna give you access to their drive folders. You're gonna go under necklaces, you're gonna go under heart necklaces, and then you're gonna do sell your own art necklace. You're gonna see that you have access to a PSD file. In our case, we wanna find the PSD file with the message card. We're gonna go ahead and download the following. Then we're gonna go to Photopea, we're gonna do file, we're gonna do open. We're gonna go ahead and go to our download. We're gonna upload the file that we just downloaded from Apparel, and ta-da, As you can see here, you'll have access to all the different layers. So this is very similar to Photoshop. And then all you have to do is essentially add those layers and include your design accordingly. So this is a little bit more time consuming, and it will require for you to have a little bit more patience. However, the reason I personally love Outprint is that because there's that level of complexity, there's less competition, and we all love less competition. And it's one of the only jewelry print-on-demand supplier at the moment that enables you to create your own design. Now, we know that this dog name ear is performing really well. I mean, it's made $500,000 in just a couple of months last year. So we know there's opportunities. So then if you were to add a message card and include a message that speaks to your audience, then really the sky's the limit. So guys, like really, when you're looking at these specific stores and looking at these opportunities, it's important for you to understand what sold well for them and how you can differentiate yourself in the marketplace. So in this case, we know that these dog ears are performing really well. So there's an opportunity for you to go ahead and make it even better by adding something as simple as a message card. Now, the final store that's generated over $500,000 in revenue, they started the store in March 2023. If we take a quick look, take a step back at their store, they're mainly selling apparel. Now, the beauty with apparel, even though, to be honest, it's not my favorite to sell. However, I've come to realize the last year that apparel can be great for volume. Now, you don't need to have extremely intricate design in order to be successful selling apparel. It's just understanding where, again, there's opportunities and what specific niches are doing well. I personally like to use a tool like Allura.io. We're going to click right here and see that one of the niches that they've tapped into and what's made them the most revenue is this LGBTQ niche. So what we're going to do next is go on Etsy. We're going to do a quick search for LGBTQ. And by the way, guys, this is just one niche. You can obviously tap into other niches that have been best sellers for them, like math teachers, whatever, right? The list goes on. But in this case, we're interested in this LGBTQ because it's what's generated the most revenue for them. So what I like to do is get an idea, the kind of products that are currently selling, what are best sellers from a design perspective, and then kind of do the reverse engineering of being like, okay, so what has been done and what hasn't been done? So if I see, for instance, okay, so this candle smells like you're gay, but I'm not seeing a lot of different candles. So perhaps here there's an opportunity to create candles with some of these designs that are performing well. In this case, maybe adding something, I don't have a gender, I have anxiety. So adding this concept into a candle. So it's just a matter of essentially scrapping data from Etsy, looking at where there are opportunities, looking at what is performing well, and then kind of doing the reverse engineering from there. So in this case, this sticker, this human will provide a safe space, no questions asked. So I really like the sticker. So what I'm going to do next is see whether or not anybody has used the sentence on a t-shirt. So for instance, this design has been trending in the apparel space for quite a while. This is design aesthetic. So what I would do would be take this design aesthetic, for instance, and use this quote. This human will provide a safe space, no questions asked. So let's try right now to emulate this design aesthetic. So now what we could do is essentially create our template inside Canva, trying to emulate what is currently trending from a design perspective on Etsy. So I kind of got inspired from here. And obviously what I'm doing is I'm using a font that is a little bit, that is similar as much as possible. In this case, I used the Ton Sangria font. And then essentially, I clicked and chose different colors for each of the font. And this is a quick mock-up of what it would look like. Now, for mock-ups, I don't recommend that you use the Canva mockup or placeit.com net. I personally love using mockups directly from Etsy. So if we do a quick search for t-shirt mockups on Etsy, we can find some good t-shirt mockups. So like for instance, this would be a great t-shirt mockup that you can use, or this one right here that is also very popular. And make sure that it also matches, the Jildan 500 matches with what you're uploading. So in this case, I again would use Gelato, and they have a Gildan 500 that is available. So right here, what I would do is essentially I would download the design that I just did. So I would do a quick download of the PNG. Go ahead and download that. Actually, I'm going to make sure that it's transparent. So I'm going to do that again. Download, transparent background, download. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add my file. That's it. I added my file. Then if we can continue the mockups here. So these mockups are pretty generic. I don't recommend that you use them. Like I said, I recommend that you use your own mockup directly from Etsy, but just to get your listing up and going, this is good enough. And that's it, guys. So essentially, kind of to go back to the store that we looked at, lots of opportunities within the apparel. Notice as well, when it comes to apparel, you have to be more aggressive with your uploading simply because you need to understand what kind of design is going to appeal to your customer. Now, with apparel, I do recommend you having more design skill sets. You can do and get a lot done with using Kittle or Canva, etc., or having a few templates that you can leverage over and over again. But overall, to be competitive in the apparel space, you do need to upload more frequently and have an understanding of what folks are into, not just from a design perspective, but also what folks are into. Like we saw by looking at Allura, like where is there a demand, right? So we know that LGBTQ niche has a lot of opportunity. For instance, like registered nurse as well could have lots of opportunities. So my recommendation here, the revenue potential with apparel is quite high as well. It's just a matter of really digging in, seeing what folks are already doing and how you can differentiate yourself. So the simple exercise that we did in which we looked at all the different products that are available and then kind of doing the reverse engineering of like, okay, this sticker is doing well. I don't see it on a shirt. Let me try it on a shirt, right? That's just one way of testing. And we see that this is a bestseller. And if we could do a quick analysis on this item, it's selling pretty well, 33 sales a month, just simply putting this concept on a t-shirt. And I'm not saying replicate their design or anything like, obviously this is a little bit, I've changed it a little bit, but just to give you an idea of how you can essentially take the data and then understand how to make it your own. This comes to prove, guys, that in 2024, Etsy is not saturated. There's plenty of opportunity. I personally love Etsy because it's very beginner friendly. Your focus is in having irresistible listing, understanding where there's demand, understanding what people are into versus trying to do this on your own with Shopify. When you create a Shopify store, not only do you need to understand landing page optimization, you also need to understand traffic and how to bring traffic to your Shopify store, whether organic traffic by being really active on social media or through paid ads, which is a skill set that does not happen overnight. What I like about Etsy is that the traffic comes directly within you because you're tapping into qualified customers who are ready to buy on Etsy. You just need to understand what they're looking for and tap into that demand, which can be easier said than done. I totally get it. However, like I said, it's very beginner friendly. So I've proven to you today that there's plenty of stores who are extremely successful, making 6 figures plus on Etsy. And by doing a deeper dive, looking specifically at these stores, reverse engineering, figuring out how you can make it work based on your specific design skill set, guarantee there's plenty of opportunities. So I'd love to hear if you have any question in the comment section. And most importantly, let me know on your wins. If you haven't already, make sure to give my video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.